Welcome to Spotlight Saturday. This series takes a closer look at musicians and composers that we want to elevate and get a chance to learn more about. Today, we're talking to composer, producer, educator, and Grammy-award winning drummer, Terri Carrington, who performed at one of our Esplanade concerts last summer. First, tell us about yourself.
My name's Terri Carrington, and I play drums, but I also am an educator, composer, a producer, a consultant. I do many things. I guess most recently, the last 5 to 6 years, I've been the artistic director of the Berklee Institute of Jazz and Gender Justice. And also the last 3 years, as something connected to that, I've been artistic director for the Next Jazz Legacy program in collaboration with New Music USA, where we provide mentorships and apprenticeships with band leaders for women and non-binary emerging artists. So half of the work that we do at the Institute is, I'd say, based on the needs at Berklee and the students' needs at the college. And then the other half is really focused on transforming the culture. And that's kind of my life's work at this point. I spent a lot of years not paying attention to the perils of gender inequity, and now I've been pretty focused the last 10 years or so on being a part of the solution and not a part of the problem.
What inspires you for your compositions?
Well, it depends on what kind of music it is. If it's something with lyrics, then the inspiration is going to come from the story, and melodically, harmonically. Often I just hear something and it might be influenced by something I've recently heard that I don't even recognize as it being the influence. I may hear a song, on Spotify or wherever on the radio, and the feeling of that song stays with me, and not even necessarily the notes, but just the feeling. I may do something that captures a similar feeling, but with my own notes. So I'm just kind of influenced by everything around me. I mean, we hopefully are influenced by all the music that we hear. My students, they influence me all the time. Nature, exercises, you try to find things and make games with yourself, or give yourself some limitations so that you can create something that has a limitation. It makes you, be creative in a different way.
What was your introduction into music?
Well, my father and my grandfather played music, and so I was a third generation musician. My grandfather passed away right before I was born, so I never met him, but he was a drummer, and my father plays saxophone and drums. And my father knew everyone in jazz, so he would take me out to clubs, to concert halls, and I would just be surrounded by the music and by the people that created it. It really proved a point of, even if you have talent, if you don't have access, you may never really fully develop to your potential. And so I feel like a lot of people supported me because they knew me, they knew of me, they knew my dad, and they saw the talent, but I had access to them. I feel like we have to do better with identifying the potential in young musicians and figuring out how to support and nurture, opposed to expecting people to come fully formed.
If there was anything you could change about the music industry, what would it be?
Oh, God, I don't know if there's just one thing. I think just equity in general, more equity in general, less hierarchy, which is already happening because people are already on board with owning their own music and being their own label and doing everything yourself. And we're getting such high quality of art that way, that it goes to show you that artists, I think, have the ability to manage themselves, manage their careers, take care of their own business, more than business people have the ability to be creative artists. I mean, not every artist, but I'm really seeing people rejecting these old models of somebody else is telling you what to do with your music or with your art, or what direction you should go in. I do think collaboration is important, and I'm not saying that we shouldn't collaborate with business-minded people, and it does sometimes take everyone's efforts. But I do think your vision for your creativity in your career has to come from within. And with these newer models, we're able to do that, and helps us see our vision through. I mean, I'm involved with every detail, whether it's the artwork or bookings or everything.
What's the most surprising change you've noticed in the music industry?
That's a big one, what I just mentioned, which is when streaming and all of that happened, how it leveled the playing field a lot more. It allowed for a lot more music to be put out there for everybody to access. Doesn't mean all of it's great. The opportunity to not have a middle person was a good thing. It's a good thing. If you're willing and want to, do all that extra work. As far as those things go, like I'm not trying to upload my music to Apple and Spotify and, go through all that. I would rather license to a label and have them own it for a shorter period of time and do all of that stuff that they're good at. So that's a huge change in the business from when I started. Gender equity is starting to be a thing. It's not there yet, of course, but at least it's being acknowledged in many more ways than it had been. So I'm grateful to see somewhat of a shift there. Electronics have really played a huge role in everything. The process of recording, the process of writing, it's really changed the game. The digital era I think it's a great thing if you know how to use it so that it works for you. It's something that can intimidate some people in jazz and classical music only because so much of what we do is so organic and not technology driven, so to say. But I think we're in this age, we're in the technological era. It's not going anywhere. And I think we have to learn how to work with it and learn how to make it work for us.
What advice do you have for someone who wants to follow in your footsteps?
Well, I think we all have to follow in someone's footsteps in the beginning stages of our careers and development. But at some point, you find your own voice and you keep developing that. I think you have to copy someone else first, generally. But then it's a hard thing to become an individual in music. And in jazz, you're an individual based on how you improvise generally and how you organize, to put things together, presentation, all of it. And it's not an easy thing to do because there's so many people trying to do it. And there's so many people that have good intentions and good ideas, but have not fully been able to finish them, polish them, hone them in, edit them, all those things. And I think what I was saying before about doing things yourself, I mean, and part of finding your individual voice is a solo journey, but also this is where help can come in. People that may not be able to express music on instruments like you can, I think they can also help though in other ways, like help you edit. They know maybe what's good and what's not and help point you in a direction. Sometimes we need outside ears to help with that. As far as advice, there's so much music to learn and to know. And every year you're born or you come into this business, that's just more time that you have to play catch up. You know what I mean? That's just more and more has been created for you to have an understanding of. I think, you can't be lazy and you have to be diligent because the competition is so great too. You got to step through the door. Wayne Shorter would say some people step up to the door and some people step through it. So my advice is step through the door, keep learning, never give up.
What is something you are proud of?
I mean, I'm proud of a lot of things. I'm proud of what I've accomplished as an artist. I'm proud of what I've accomplished as an artist that happens to be a woman. As far as breaking through certain spaces, I was the first woman to win a Grammy in the instrumental jazz category. And then when I won the second one in that category, I also had Chris Davis and Linda Mahano with me. So they won and became the second and third women to win in that category. I'm one of the youngest NEA Jazz Masters, so very proud of that as well, that acknowledgement. I have 3 honorary doctorates, which is something I'm proud of. I do a lot of board work for the Recording Academy and other organizations and help to push things through and hopefully expand some of these organizations to expand their thinking as well. So I'm proud of that kind of work because people don't necessarily know those things, but I'll see things happen and see things change and know that I had something to do with it. That's something I'm proud of too.
How can people find out more about your upcoming projects or learn more about you?
Right now, I'm working on the next social science album. Our first album did very well, lots of critical acclaim. It was nominated for a Grammy, and we're working on the album 2 now. That band is with Matthew Stevens and Aaron Parks and Morgan Guerin. Kokai is our rapper and electronic person. Deborah Ray has been singing with us, and I really just love the process of working on music with these people and this particular band and playing. I've always wanted to be in a band, so finally I created an opportunity for myself where this could happen with people that I really enjoyed being with. I just did the Jazz Music Awards last year, and it just aired in January, first week of January, so that was something I'm proud of as well, and something that people can look for hopefully in the future. Hopefully we're able to get the funding to continue. Proud of the Next Jazz Legacy program, working on the funding to continue that too. The New Standards album came out and won a Grammy this year. So I have some shows coming up supporting that. Some shows in California, Wisconsin, Amherst, so all over. Yeah, so I don't know as far as things to look for. I just keep plugging away and people can find me, hopefully.
Thank you to Terri Lyne Carrington for taking the time to sit with us so we could talk to her. To learn more about her upcoming projects, visit www.terrilynnecarrington.com. Thank you for watching. Follow us at Landmarks Org for more videos like this.